Okay, so yesterday we have seen constructor theory part, and we have two types of constructors: default constructor and parameterized constructor. And rules for creating a constructor is constructor name and class name must be same, and there is no explicit return type for the constructor. And we should not use non-access modifier keywords like abstract, final, static. These keywords you should not use inside the constructor or in the constructor line. And we have read about constructor overloading also. So please remember, we are going to get the method overloading, another concept. That's why it is almost similar. Okay, here it is a constructor, there it's going to be a method. So, and I have given the difference between constructor and method also. What is constructor overloading? Constructor overloading is a class can have multiple constructors, with the different parameters, and data type will be different. So that's the constructor overloading means. So let's go and see one by one, and I'll create one constructor class. In that class, we'll define constructors. Okay. So I'll create a real example. Already cookies, right? So we have already in the Selenium that cookies, but I'll create a few methods, okay, on constructor. And with constructor, how can we do that also? Let me show you that. The same I will replicate here also, and we can, so you will get idea when it comes to Selenium, okay? Go to API docs, open arc.openki.selenium package, and then classes. So we have a cookie class. Okay, so this cookie class I'm creating as it is. So I'm just showing here, okay? So in our package, I'm creating a cookie class. Let's create the cookie class. So cookie is going to have, right? Cookie is going to have some properties, right? Those properties, we'll get them. So we'll get those properties. So I want to create a cookie class. So there will be a, we have private string cookie name. So name, so it has a name, right? Cookie has a name and value. So private string value, okay? Then private string domain, private string path. So private, so date, expiry, okay? Expiry. So these are the, so you can take java.util or java.sql. I'm taking java.util, okay? So these are the properties. So I'm going to create the constructors. So I'm going to create the constructors. See, first constructor is, you already know this, right? If you go to this, and you can see the constructor. This is the first constructor. So I'm going to create a first constructor. If you want, you can create a default constructor, but default constructor not possible here. So it will be there one, but so default constructor not possible. We are creating a parameterized constructor. If you want, you can create a default also. I'll show you. Okay, so after some time. So see, class name, constructor name is same. So this name and this name. So you can get this dot, this dot name equal to name. So this dot value equal to value. So basically the left hand side variable is instance variable. So how can you say it's instance variable? So right hand side also same, but this one, this will refer the current class instance variable. If you put this keyword before a variable or a method, that represents the instance variable and instance methods. Now this is a variable. So this part is called instance variable, and right hand side part is this parameter name. So when you can use this, for example, your parameter name and instance variable name is same. To differentiate that, you're using this dot name or this dot value or this dot any instance variable that will represent the instance variables. So that's the first constructor. Second constructor. See what I told you, class name, constructor name is same. Here also see constructor name is same. See here we will see. Okay, I'll take this one. How many? Here? Here how many are there?
3.
3. But I already written this part, right? These two logics I have built up. Do I need to write again? This logic again I need to write here, duplicating? Not necessary. Then how can you invoke this constructor here? So this is another very important concept. Please catch this. How can you call one constructor in another constructor in the same class? So what is the answer? Question. How can you call one constructor in another constructor of same class? So the answer is, let me write. So the answer is using this keyword. So write this parenthesis. If it is a parameterized, P1 value, P2 value, so on, so on. Okay. So that's the, so etc. Don't think it is a, so I'm just, say here two parameters. That's why I have shown you this parameter 1 value, parameter. If there is a 3, so you have to write here 3 parameter constructor. So I'm going to call this to represent the this, and you are giving name and value. Name, value. So now these two are implemented. Now one left, this one. Now this dot path equal to path. Okay. So this is how, okay, so path is implemented, domain need to implement, right? So create a next constructor. So what is the next constructor? We are getting everything here. So I'll create a next constructor. So this is called constructor overloading. So what do you call this? Constructor overloading. See, this is a constructor overloading. We developed path value this one. Now we need to call this constructor. So how can you call that constructor? This of name, comma, value, comma, path. Now I need to develop for a domain expiry. Or you can exchange these two if you want, okay? You can exchange this one if you want, okay? I'll exchange. Okay, no problem. So these three in the order and I put domain later. Now I'll develop this dot domain equal to domain. And this dot day expiry, right? Sorry. Expiry equal to expiry. So this is how you can give expiry date if you want. Okay. Now, so this, see, a class has multiple constructors. So now which constructor you will use while creating object, that constructor will be called. See, I reduce a lot of code here, right? See, I'm not developing again these two here. Simply, I'm calling this constructor here. Again, I'm not implementing this constructor. Again, I called that constructor here. So this is how you can call one constructor in another constructor by just using this keyword. So this keyword has three advantages. One is to represent the instance variable. It is used, this keyword is used to represent the current class instance variable. This keyword is used to call one constructor in another constructor, or to invoke one constructor in another constructor, and to invoke non-static method in the same class. So that purpose you can use. So I will generate the getter methods, only getter methods for this. Right click, source, generate getters and getter. So you can remove the sort by first getters, then setters, but okay, I don't know. I'll remove them, okay? Setters I'll remove. Let's generate first getters, then setters, okay? So where is the place I want after this constructor? So remove all the setters. I don't want setters. Only, okay, we removed getters, what? Set path, set expiry, okay. All, okay, setters here. Good. So we got only get name, get value, get domain, get path, get expiry. So this is the getter methods. Now you can create an object for the class to give the values, right? So I'm going to create object. For the class. If you want, you can create a default constructor also. Let me create a default constructor. Just you're not going to give anything here. Automatically all default values will be given here. Default constructor. So create object for the cookie class. Now, so cookie is ck will be equal to new cookie. Say I'm not using any. Now, which constructor will call here? So in this line, which constructor will call?
Default.
Default constructor. So this is the default constructor. It will go to this block. Now you can call all, for example, ckobj dot, you can call get get name. So you will get a zero or null, right? You will get a null. Okay, name. So same I'm going to use in the WebDriver. That's why I'm just giving in advance all these values once again. Get val. So basically cookies are going to remember the history in the browser. That's main purpose. But we have same methods you will call. I build the same methods here. So that you won't forget again in the WebDriver. Okay. So now you execute this. So what is the output you're going to get? You see that. See everything you're getting a null. No value at all because we are not giving any value. Just you're calling getter methods. So where is the setter methods you can ask? I don't need. I can set these values either by constructor. So now you create object for the second constructor. Parameterizer constructor. Okay. Just call this. So just change only this one. Object reference you change and give. Okay, so that's the one. So now you call CKOBZ 1, 1, 1, 1. See, you got the cookie name and cookie value. But remaining are null only. Because in the remaining we didn't give, right? In the constructor line, constructor object creation line, for the constructor, we called only two values. That means this will be called. This constructor is called. Next time, you create object for another constructor. So which constructor you are calling, and the values will going to set for that only. So test2 and I'll set Okay. And path. Path I'm going to give like this. Okay, absolute path I'm giving. Now, so you just give two. Methods are same. Methods are same. You see that. See this? Say cookie name test2. And see this object values, it will store on that memory. And this object values will store in that memory. So each object memory is different. See, same class, we are creating multiple objects. So we are creating multiple objects. See, test3. So date object, I need to create a date class. So date dtobj equal to new date. So date class, I need to create object. So then you pass dtobj dot and dtobj dot toString. Or a date object you create, no problem. So just give like that because we have to give date object only. See, date object only I passed. Now you see all the values, how it will be. I'm just changing object reference, not the methods. So methods one time we created. Run this. See this? So you got that S3 and value is different, path, and so this is the okay, whatever it is. And see expiry date also it has. Okay. So that's the how you can call the constructors. Any questions before moving on to the, because I have shown you all, I have covered default constructor, parameterized constructor, constructor overloading, and how to call all the constructor, how to generate the getters and setters again getters. Okay, so which constructor is calling each time I have shown you. Any questions here?
Ramesh.
Are we good? Yeah. So no response. I'm moving to next OOPS concept, inheritance. So what is inheritance? So basically inheritance is another OOPS concept which is widely used. So it happens between two classes. One class acquires all the properties and methods of another class. So that means you have one parent class and one child class. Basically, these two will maintain easy relationship, parent-child relationship. So that parent-child relationship must be maintained, and all the parent class properties and properties, methods, both you can use in the child class. So you don't need to create them again in the child class. That's our reusability is going to achieved with this inheritance concept. You want parent class methods. You don't need to create them here. You can call directly. That's the advantage of inheritance concept. So if you observe here, I have given a simple example here. So inheritance is a mechanism that allows a class to inherit the properties and behaviors from another class. You can tell this definition like this also. So one class, properties and methods you're getting from another class. Simple. You can tell your own words. So no need to by heart also. So basically it maintains easy relationship. So parent-child relationship. So you can use a child class extends parent class. You will use extends keyword to show both class are in parent-child relationship. So you will use extends keyword. And if you see here, basically it promotes the core reusability and establishes a hierarchical relationship between the classes. For example, you have a vehicle class. So that is a base class. From that, you can create another car class. So car class can inherit from vehicle. So vehicle class, whatever the methods are there, you can use in the car class. Because car also one vehicle. Car is a vehicle. C is a relationship. Can inherit from the vehicle. So acquiring common attributes and methods defined in the vehicle class. So that's a simple example you can give. And in Selenium, we have in our framework, we have base classes. That base classes you will extend to different base classes and also test case classes. So there you will use this inheritance concept in the automation framework. So widely used this concept. And even encapsulation also I forget to tell, but anyway, I'll explain in the framework design time. Even encapsulation also will use in the page class design page object model design pattern. So there each page class has page objects and page methods. So that is the encapsulated in one class, page class. So there you are applying that encapsulation concept in the automation. So these are all the important points they will ask in the interviews. So where and all used OOPS concept, explain me with the scenarios. So you can tell all these points. Anyway, our blog has very detailed explanation and you can give same answers. Okay, so the class which inherits the properties of other class is known as a subclass. Which class is inheriting the properties? That class is called subclass, child class, or derived class. Class whose properties are inherited. So whose properties you are taking, that class is called a superclass or base class or parent class. These are all the different names. Okay, people will call any name. So don't confuse. So superclass, base class, parent class, all are same. Subclass, derived class, child class, all are same. Okay. Okay, so in your parent class, there are private members. Private members means private variables and private methods. Those cannot be accessible in the child class, even though if you apply inheritance also. So you know already a reason why you cannot access them. Private is going to stop the visibility for other classes, right? That's even the inheritance concept also not accessible. That's everywhere the common, right? That's the private access modifier. So you have to use extends keyword between child and parent class. So this is the superclass and class subclass extends superclass. Now this is the inheritance concept applied here. So whenever you write a subclass extends parent class or superclass. This is called inheritance. So extends left side, that is a subclass. Extends the right hand side, it is a parent class. So advantages of inheritance is reusability of the code, and also if you want to achieve runtime polymorphism or method overriding, you must use this inheritance concept. Without inheritance, this is not possible at all. If you want to achieve method overriding, there must be a inheritance concept between the two classes. Then only method overriding is possible and runtime polymorphism occurs there. And so what are the different types of inheritances? So there are various types of inheritances. So one is single inheritance, and second one is multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, and multiple inheritance. These are the different inheritances we have. And what is single inheritance? Single inheritance means one class extends to another class. See, class A and class B. So now class B extends class A. So that means A is the parent class and B is the child class. Now same you have multi-level inheritance. So multi-level inheritance means multi-level inheritance means so you have multiple classes, class A, class B, and class C. So like we have a like grandfather, father, and kid, right? So child. So the child has a privilege to use father properties and grandfather properties also. So that is the multi-level means this is, see, the child is accessing different levels. So here C is the child which is accessing, basically which is extending to B, B is extending to A, but still C can access B properties and A properties and methods also. But B can access only A properties, not C properties. So please, understand this concept. So logically, in the real environment, you can see legally. So there is no father can access so these child properties. That's not possible legally. But here, so this is also programmatically, it's not possible. So you can access, child can access parent class properties and methods. And now this one access both class properties. So that's the multi-level inheritance. That means multiple levels you're accessing. So the next one is hierarchical inheritance. So one parent can have multiple childs, right? So each child can access same properties of parent. So now here, so B extends A and C extends A. See, A is the parent and B is the one child and C is another child. So B can access all the properties of A and C also has access to A with all the properties and methods. So that's the hierarchical. So please understand, don't confuse with the multi-level and hierarchical, okay? So multi-level means different levels you are accessing. So, and hierarchical means one parent, multiple childs. So that's the hierarchical inheritance. So the last one is multiple inheritance. So multiple inheritance means one class can extend to multiple classes. That is not possible at all in Java. That is not possible in Java. So that is the, so multiple inheritance means. Okay. So are you all clear? So that means always one class extends to another class. That's it. One class cannot be extended to multiple classes. Remember that. That is only not possible with in case of class. So that means Java doesn't support multiple inheritance in case of class, but in case of interface, it supports. So why Java doesn't support multiple inheritance in case of class? The reason is to make the design very simple and to avoid confusion, they are not supporting multiple inheritance. So suppose how they are going to get confused. So let's give explanation more. First, give this word. Why Java doesn't support multiple inheritance? The answer is Java doesn't support multiple inheritance because to make the design very simple and to avoid confusion, they are not supporting. Suppose assume there are three classes, A, B, C, right? So there are three classes, A, B, C. In the A, B, C, A, B having same methods. And you're accessing C inside that M1 method of A and B. Now compiler gets confusion from which class that M1 method has to pick up. So it will get a confusion. Compiler will get a confusion. That's why. So they are not supporting at all. In such cases also, they don't want to give a confusion. That is the reason they are not supporting. Okay. So let's join back and we'll write programs and